Hi folks, and welcome to Gathering Energy Yoga's Slow Flow Vinyasa. For today's practice, you're going to need your mat, a blanket, and maybe a couple of blocks. Find a comfortable seat, and we'll get started. Hi folks, and welcome to your Slow Flow Vinyasa with me, Graham. Today's practice is going to be working with the earth element. So take your time, work with your own body, and do what feels good for you. We're going to start our practice in child's pose. So just bringing yourself towards Balasana. Child's pose isn't easy for everybody. You might wish to have a blanket for your knees. And if you like to have an extended child's pose, so a little bit wider in the hips, then you can use your blanket, taking it onto the mat, taking your knees about as wide as the mat, bringing your toes together if you can, and working your hips or your bum down towards your heels, reaching the hands out in front, taking the forearms nice and relaxed and the forehead down to the floor, nice and relaxed. If child's pose is uncomfortable for you, you can have your hips a little higher, maybe working a little bit closer towards puppy pose, but you can still let your forearms come down and your forehead come down. And just holding here. Finding a comfortable child's pose for you. So we're just going to use the first few minutes of our practice just to bring some awareness into the breath and the body. Just allow yourself to become aware of the whole body. Becoming aware of where you make contact with the floor or the earth. Starting to notice the movement of the breath. Maybe allowing the exhalation breath to allow you to sink a little deeper. Or soften a little bit towards the earth. We all come to our practice for different reasons. There's no right or wrong way to be or feel when you come to your practice. But it's nice just to be aware of yourself before you flow, before you move. Using the breath to bring yourself inwards. Just you, your breath, and your body. And while we're in child's pose or balasana, maybe we could start to engage root lock or mula bandha. So it's a clenching and lifting, just gentle, at the root of the body. It's a physical lock, so it engages around the perineum or pelvic floor. It helps to protect the body. It helps to protect the lower back. It helps to engage the abdomen. A feeling of centered, or your center of gravity when balancing. But it's also part of the subtle body, the energies of the body and the breath. So engagement of root lock or mula bandha forces the energies or the pranic energy from your breath to flow upwards out into the body rather than being lost or escaping through the root of the body. So just gently engaging this now. Introducing a rhythm into your breath. The rhythm of the breath being an equal in-breath, equal out-breath. Maybe in through the nose and out through the nose, Ujjayi breath, breathing with sound. Or just your rhythm, in through the mouth, out through the mouth. And again, bringing yourself back to that whole body feeling. Noticing where the breath goes as you start to expand into the body. And from Balasana, or child's pose, maybe opening your eyes, we're going to take ourselves up towards tabletop. So maybe taking the hands back towards you, lifting the hips up, maybe bringing the knees back in towards alignment with the hips, maybe moving the blanket away. You can keep it if you want the comfort on your knees. Taking your feet flat, wrists are roughly underneath shoulders, so we're coming to tabletop or Dandayamana Brahmanasana. Knees underneath hips. I've got my feet flat, but maybe you want to flex or tuck the toes, stretch through the soles of the feet. And from here, we're just going to do some rotations. So we're bringing the shoulder or the side body out to one direction, back towards the hips, round to the opposite, over the wrists and round. So creating a circular movement with the body. Maybe closing your eyes, making this quite animalistic. So pushing the ribs out, tucking the chin in or looking towards the top of the mat. Do what feels good for you. Make the movement your own. Introduce push and pull as you move around. Extra movement in the spine or the hips, undulation. Take it in the opposite direction. Maybe linking it with your breath. Slowing the movement down so there's one in-breath as you come over the wrists, breathing out as you come back towards the heels. As you take the weight over the wrists, make sure you've got root lock, mula bandha engaged. It can help with a feeling of lightness in the lower body so that you maybe can take more of your weight over the wrists. We're just doing this to warm up. Again, swapping, taking it in the opposite direction. Making this movement your own. It's a favourite of mine for a morning, in my morning routine, even my evening routine, just to really bring awareness into my shoulders, wrists, hips and knees. It feels really nice on the spine and just adding in extra movements that feel good for me. And then from here, just coming back to neutral. Maybe you've moved a little as you've been going around. And just holding here, feeling for any difference. For 5. 4, coming back to your breath. Equal in breath, equal out breath. 3, Expansion into the body. 2. And 1. Okay, so from our tabletop, we're going to move into side plank or variation off. We're going to stay on our knees, so we're going to make it easy or gentle on the body. So I'm going to start with my left side. So I'm kind of leaning down into my left hand, pushing down into the left knee. Maybe you might want to take the left toes just off the edge of the left side of the mat, so creating a slightly greater base with the body. I'm going to reach away with the right foot, pushing the sole of the foot down into the floor, similar to what we might do for a warrior 2. Start to feel the weight in your left hand, left knee, maybe reaching that right hand up towards the sky, trying to lift with your right hip, so as if it's reaching up towards the sky, pushing down into your foundation through your left hand, keeping some space between the neck and the shoulders, and looking towards the right. Maybe you could look up towards the hand. And we're just going to hold here for 5, 4, 3, pulling the core in a little, engagement of root lock still, 2, and 1, taking it to the opposite side. So right hand pushes down into the floor, right knee comes down also. Swapping over, maybe the right toes come off the edge of the right side of the mat, left foot reaches to the bottom. Push down into your right hand, right knee, maybe reaching that left hand up towards the sky. Looking towards the left, maybe looking up towards that left hand. Holding here as well for 5. Lifting with that left hip. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left hand comes down, left knee comes down, swapping back to the opposite side. So leaning into the left knee, left hand, reaching away with the right foot, slowly pulling that hand up. Remember to push down into the sole of the foot, of the right foot that's at the bottom of the mat, reaching that hand away. If you feel you could add something on here, you're feeling a little bit stronger in the foundation of that left hand, maybe you could pull, engaging the core, lifting the left knee, off the floor. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting that left knee come down, swapping. Right hand comes to the floor, right knee comes to the floor. Taking the right toes just off the edge of the mat, reaching the left foot down to the bottom of the mat, pushing down into the sole of that left foot. Pushing into the right hand, reaching the left arm up towards the sky. Again, holding here, finding your foundation. Then, if you're feeling strong, pushing down into the left foot, maybe lifting the right knee off the floor. So you're going to feel an engagement in the side body. Good for the core, pushing away with the hand down into the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting the knee come down, taking your hand down, bringing the left knee down. Holding here in tabletop. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Okay, from tabletop, we're going to start to introduce a little bit of a flow here, moving from gate pose towards our modified side plank, or maybe even half moon pose, but we'll build up to that. So this time, as you lean into the left hand, you push down into the left knee, reaching that right foot towards the bottom of the mat. Maybe you could lift yourself up here, So lifting up, using the core, reaching that right hand down the right leg, reaching the left hand up and over for gate pose or parigasana. Breathing here for 3, 2, and 1. Sweeping the hands down, pushing into the left hand into the floor, reaching away with the right. Coming to that modified side plank. Or maybe taking more of the weight into the knee and the hand, lifting the leg up behind. Push away with the heel as if you're pushing into a wall for a kneeling half moon pose. Ashta Chandrasana. Maybe looking up towards that right hand for 3, 2, wobbling is good, and 1, bringing the foundation down, pushing or lifting yourself back up towards gate, reaching the hand down, reaching that opposite hand up and over, holding here for 3, 2, maybe feeling a compression on your right side, extension through the left. And 1, sweeping the hands slowly down, pushing into your ground or into the earth, reaching the hand up, coming to your modified side plank, or maybe moving towards half moon. Reaching away with the heel as if you're pushing the sole of the foot away, maybe looking up towards that hand that's reaching up to the sky for 3, 2, and 1, bringing the foot down, bringing the hand back, moving back towards your tabletop. Holding here before we move to the other side. So again, as we move towards our side plank variation, we're reaching away with the left foot, pushing the sole of the foot into the ground, maybe taking the right toes just off the edge of the mat. Pushing down into our right hand, reaching away with the left. From here, maybe you could lift that back leg, coming towards Ashta Chandrasana or half moon pose. For 3, 2, and 1. Foot comes down, pushing into the sole. Maybe lifting yourself up. Once you're there, straightening into the foot. Taking the left hand all the way down the left leg, reaching that right hand up and over. Taking gate pose. For 3, 2, and 1. Sweeping the hands back, slowly pushing down into the floor, into your foundation, reaching the hand away when you feel confident or strong here. Maybe lifting that back leg off the floor. Remember, you don't need to. You can hold your side plank variation, or you can move to half moon, kneeling. For 3, 2, and 1, bringing the foot down to the floor, lifting yourself up. Remember, you can bend into the knee before you straighten the foot, reaching the hand up and over. Gate pose, parigasana. For 3, 2, maybe looking down at that foot. And 1, sweeping back towards your side plank or half moon variation. For 3, 2, and 1. Foot comes down. Last 1. Sweeping up. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Sweeping the hands back. Both hands come down. Taking yourself back towards tabletop or all fours. Breathing here for just a second. Okay, so from tabletop, we're going to come down to a seat or down to a comfortable seat. So maybe you could cross at the ankles, taking yourself back, lifting up over the heels and taking your feet out in front, or find your own way down to a comfortable seat. Taking your feet about as wide as the mat, leaning back into the hands a little just so that you're leaning backwards slightly, and we're just going to windshield wiper gently our knees side to side. So we're taking an internal and external rotation of the hips in both legs. So one leg externally rotates, the opposite leg internally rotates. So this is really good. So this is a really nice movement to do to bring mobility and awareness into the hips, pelvis. It's a favourite of mine in my yin practice in between some of the seated postures. Okay, just coming to a stop, sitting up a little taller. And we're going to allow the knees to fall, which will be for me to my left. So I'm going to let them fall to the left. From here, you might need to have a blanket in between, so for a little bit of comfort when they fall. Maybe you might even need a block to give a little bit of height. Wherever you are, sitting up just a little bit more, we're going to take the right foot towards the right glute, adjusting the front one so that roughly the sole of the foot. What I'll do is I'll turn to face you so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm pulling one foot in and I've got the other one just out in front. Now this will vary depending on what's comfortable for you. Maybe you'll keep the foot further out. Maybe the back foot will stay more at a 90-degree angle or will be a little further from the body. But we're coming towards deer pose. So deer pose is a favourite yin posture of mine. So it's an alternative to pigeon or swan. It's less pressure into the knees, the hips, and the ankle at the same time. So when we're sitting here, I've got my left leg in front and my right foot behind with the right heel reasonably close to my glutes. We're going to take a twist to begin with. So I'm going to take my right hand to my left knee, sitting up nice and tall, taking the left hand behind the body. So I'm really looking out over the left knee. If you have the movement and it's comfortable, maybe you could take the twist a little further, but you don't need to. We're trying to sit up tall. Allow the breath to be. So we're externally rotating into the left. We're internally rotating into our right hip flexors. We're just slowing down the practice. Maybe bringing your attention to your sit bones, or at least the one sit bone that maybe is in contact with the floor. That's okay. Just bringing your awareness there now. As you breathe out, bring yourself back towards center, or bringing both hands back to each knee. We're going to take the twist just for a few breaths in the opposite directions, taking your left hand to the right knee, taking that opposite hand behind a little. We're not really twisting around here. We're just taking a gentle twist. You might find that both sit bones are a little closer to the floor when we do this. Breathing nice and tall. Not forgetting root lock or mula bandha. For 3, 2, and 1. Coming out of the twist, taking both hands back to your laps. You're maybe looking out over the kind of the ankle and the shin of your left foot. Now we're going to take a little bit of a forward fold here. So you might like to twist and look towards the top of the mat, or taking your kind of body round slightly and taking a little bit of a fold here. So a bit like pigeon pose or swan, but more gentle. Maybe you're not feeling enough. Maybe you could extend that front left foot away from the right thigh. and take a little bit more of a fold. Just doing what feels good for you. Doesn't matter how close you get to the floor. We're working to feel connection to the earth. Slowing our practice down so that we can feel more grounded, more present in the current moment. Coming back to your breath, or the subtlety of your breath in your body. And just giving yourself a few moments. Just you, your breath in your body. Just noticing where you feel any compression, any tension. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly working just to lift yourself back up. Taking a moment when you get there. We're in no rush. We're going to slowly move towards the opposite side. So maybe bringing yourself back towards windshield wipers. So leaning back, allowing the knees to fall side to side. Noticing if you feel different on one side of the body to the other. Allowing the knees to fall. And then we're going to work to let the knees fall towards the right. Again, you might need blocks or pillows to make it comfortable for you. The knees don't need to fall to the floor. The aim is, but they might need a little bit extra. They might need something just here. Maybe it doesn't want to fall all the way. So just work with your own body. From here, maybe tucking that left heel in towards your glutes, bringing the right sole of the foot towards the knee of the left. We're going to take the twist to the opposite side. So I'm going to take my left hand to the right knee, sitting up here, taking the right hand behind the body slightly. Taking a twist. I'm really not looking too much further out than on the right knee. You can, however, if you want a greater external and internal and external rotation, then you can take that twist a little deeper. Just working with your body, your breath. Again, you might only feel one sit bone or one side of the pelvis in contact with the floor. We're working with different energies when we come into late summer, which is associated with the earth element. So we're holding on to energy or bringing the energy level down from high summer. And this is a favorite kind of evening flow for me. Working into my tired hips after a day's activities. We're here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking ourselves back towards center as we breathe out. And then taking the twist in the opposite direction. So taking the right hand to the left knee, taking the left hand just to the edge of the foot or the side body. Gentle twist here, maybe feeling of both sit bones, maybe wanting to sit down into the floor, maybe not. We're only here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Breathing out, coming back to center. Again, we're going to go for the fold. So maybe you move the right foot away from the left knee, taking that fold forwards here. Maybe it stays closer to the body and you twist around before you take the fold. Just work with your own body here. Don't expect to be the same on both sides. Again, just allowing yourself some moments to just breathe. Be present with your body. Taking yourself on a little journey. Where do you feel this? We're not doing a yin practice as such. We're not holding the poses for that long. But it's really nice just to slow your practice down. Be aware of everything that you feel and everything that you're doing. And we'll hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Remembering to breathe as you move. Don't hold your breath at any point. Coming up to seated. Holding here for just a second. Again, we're in no rush to move on from here. And then when you're ready, maybe leaning backwards, bringing the feet back towards windshield wipers. And again, just taking them side to side. Noticing if you feel a bit more equal now that we've done both sides. And then when you're ready, coming towards easy pose or sukhasana, cross-legged, half lotus. Just working into a comfortable seat for you. And just holding here for a moment. Okay, from our cross-leg position, we're going to come to bound angle, Baddha Konasana. We're going to do it a couple of ways. So maybe you want to get a blanket. So if you struggle to sit up straight, you might want to prop a little blanket under your bum, just allowing you to fall forward slightly. We're going to take the feet or the knees wide. Remember, you can also have blocks either side of the knees, just propping them up if they feel uncomfortable to fall out, or they're falling a bit further than you want them to. So with a couple of blocks at various heights, you can prop them up. You can let them come down a little if you need to. Taking the soles of the feet together, we're going to sit up nice and tall. You can if you wish. Obviously, the further your feet are from the body, the less pressure there is in the knees and usually to the kind of inner thigh area, and sometimes the ankle. The closer they are to the body, the more pressure there is into these same areas. So you don't have to have them super, super close, but we don't want them really far out in front. We're not doing a yin practice here. So taking them to a kind of comfortable middle ground. Imagine the soles of your feet are like the pages of a book, and you want to open them wide. So you're opening the feet. When you do that, you might find that your knees want to fall a little further. So if you notice mine, when I open, they kind of naturally want to fall a little bit further. And we're going to sit up nice and tall. So feel nice and long, or length through the spine, almost from the crown to your root. Breathing here, we're going to try and take our chin, and our chest forwards down towards the feet, or out past the feet maybe even. You can push the elbows into your thighs, or maybe into the side of the calf muscle, wherever it's going to reach for you. That might encourage the knees to kind of push away to give you more space to come forwards. So we're opening our feet like a book. Breathing in nice and long, lengthen through the spine from root to crown. And as we breathe out, we start to fold forward, trying to keep that straight spine. So it's not about curling in. We'll come to that in a moment. It's about falling forwards, maybe pushing the elbows into the inner thigh, into the kind of calf muscle, wherever they're going to reach for you. Everyone's body dynamics are different. And we're holding here for 5. Long through the spine, chest and chin reaching forwards and away. 4, 3, relax into the shoulders. 2, and 1, starting to sit up nice and tall. Breathing here. We're going to take it the opposite way. So rather than reaching forwards with a nice straight spine, we're going to curl ourselves in. So we're going to pull the stomach in, push the spine away, round with our shoulders, tuck the chin in, almost creating a ball shape with our body. We want to create real curve in the spine, as if we're going to take our forehead all the way down to our toes. Now that's the goal. Doesn't mean you're going to get there today, but that's what we're aiming for. That feeling of curling in, rounding down. Okay, so we'll start. So breathing in. Then as you breathe out, almost deflating the body, pull the stomach in. Really push the spine away, trying to really curl into it. Continuing to breathe. Don't hold your breath at any time. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly uncurling. Continuing to breathe as you do this. Maybe feeling the sit bones making in contact with the ground. Breathing in nice and tall through the spine, opening your eyes. So it's a lovely way to finish our practice, from reaching forwards to curling in. And then from here, you can close your practice as you wish. You might wish to come down towards Shavasana. You might have a few closing postures that you like to include in all of your practice. Please feel free to do this now. Or you can join me coming towards lotus or half lotus. Finding a comfortable seat. Sitting up nice and tall, maybe tucking the chin ever so slightly down towards the chest. Allowing your hands to fall over the knees. Maybe you want palms facing up towards the sky. Maybe you have your hands in your lap. Find where's best for you. love to close my practice with seated breath awareness, allowing the breath just to become natural. Maybe breathing in through the mouth or the nose, breathing out through the mouth or the nose. And if the mind begins to wander, bringing it back to the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath, the subtle rise and fall of the belly and the chest. A friend once said to me, imagine the thoughts like clouds. You can acknowledge and see them, but they just float on by. Don't let them pull you away from where you are. Now you can stay here for as long as you wish, or you can take yourself down towards Shavasana. Or if you're already in Shavasana, enjoy it. Stay here as long as you need to. But for me today, I'm going to close the practice. Thank you for sharing it with me, and I hope to see you again soon.